I'm going to show you how you can start making your own kombucha. However, there is one thing you do need, and that is some kombucha already. Whether it's store-bought kombucha or from a friend, as long as you have something that's raw or organic, this should work. Now, I already have a batch of kombucha going, so I'm actually just going to use some of this liquid to start a new kombucha and grow a new SCOBY. First thing we're going to do is just make some tea, so I've got some water here, which I'm going to bring up to a boil. Alternatively, you can buy a SCOBY online, and this is basically the same process. Once your water's boiling, turn it off, add your tea bags, and just let it steep for like 10 minutes. Once the tea's done steeping, I'm going to filter it out while measuring it. Squeeze out all the juice. So we have 1,180 grams of tea. I'm going to add 10% of that weight in sugar. 1180 times 0.1 equals 118. So that means 118 grams of sugar. Best to use a good quality sugar as well. That was the perfect amount of sugar. Mix that up to dissolve all the sugar, and then we'll just let this cool off completely down to room temperature. I'm gonna speed up this cooling by putting it into an ice bath. Now, I'm using black tea for this because black tea is better for when you're growing a new SCOBY, but when it comes to actually bottling, flavoring, and drinking kombucha, I actually like to use green tea, but I'll cover that in a future video. Our tea is cooled off, so we've got a clean glass vessel. I've gone one step further and sanitized this, but don't really need to do that as long as this is clean. We're gonna add our tea. And then we're gonna add some of our seed kombucha. Or if you have a SCOBY, add your SCOBY and any of the juice that it came packaged with, just add it all in there. Cover it with cheesecloth, or I like to use kitchen towel just because I don't have any more cheesecloth, and just set this aside at room temperature for as long as it takes for something to start forming on the top. Over time, a little layer of slime will form at the top. That's the SCOBY. You don't want to disturb that. Once the SCOBY looks thick enough and the tea has gone a little bit vinegary, I'd suggest maybe repeating this process. You can drink that if you want, and that is kombucha, but I usually don't. I'll go a second or third round and just keep growing my SCOBY. So I'm gonna put this away now, and hopefully in a week, I'll have another SCOBY. And as an example, here's one that I made from that big batch, and that's the SCOBY that's growing on it. I fed this maybe 3 times already.